Anyway, guys, let's address the first topic on the docket. And this is going to be interesting because this is not exactly what I intended it to be, because the DeLorean was actually something that was blue screen. It was, oh my God, it's out of stock soon. Don't forget to pre-order it. That's what Sideshow was basically saying to us. And then now it's back on pre-order, which is not such a bad thing. But I'm starting to wonder, we kind of have to maybe proceed with caution, because we saw what happened with Green Goblin. Green Goblin was waitlisted, and then suddenly he's back, and then suddenly he's waitlisted again. So Sideshow seems to be doing this every so often. And now with the DeLorean, we don't really know. It hasn't even hit in stock yet. But I want to ask the question, is now or never the situation that we're in with the DeLorean? And I actually want to start with Carlos. Carlos, what do you think? Is if you want the DeLorean, is now the time to jump? Because we really don't know, do we?
Is it now the time to jump? I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say because if you wanted the DeLorean, I guess you can say, well, I'm waiting for the DeLorean because maybe I'll get a discount, right? The problem is that I don't think we're gonna. I think if someone really wanted the DeLorean, would have probably pre-ordered it by now, right? I'm assuming that's what you probably would have done, but I don't think so, man. I mean, I think things are just so expensive nowadays, and everyone's waiting for a discount. I don't think that is honestly something that, if you're like on the fence about it and maybe you're waiting for a discount, I'll probably take that chance. I already actually have this paid off because I really wanted DeLorean. I didn't want to, chance it. So if you're like iffy about it, then definitely don't need to. I mean, because at the same time, Sideshow is, I don't know if they're playing games or it's like a gimmick or maybe it was a system error. I don't know what's going on, but it's been plenty of times now where something goes on blue screen and sells out, then it comes back in at this point. So it's like the tumbler. I haven't seen a discount for the tumbler except like $5 shipping. So maybe you want to wait for the DeLorean to hit something like that, or another retailer to maybe get it for cheap. But yeah, it's kind of a hard one because I feel like I really want the DeLorean, so I already have it. So maybe if you really wanted it, you already be trying to do a payment plan, or maybe you did pre-order it. If you're, I don't know. This one's definitely a difficult one for me to kind of give advice on because it's a vehicle and you just never know what can happen, right? Because vehicles, once they sell out, they usually go up in value. On like a figure, like if you miss it on a figure, and you're like, well, it's gonna be like another $100 or so, or $50. Okay, like you took a chance, a gamble, whatever. But which is unfortunate. But maybe you were trying to play the discount game, and maybe that's what you're trying to do here with the DeLorean. Not sure if that's something that someone should be doing, just because again it's a vehicle. But
right,
if you really wanted it, I'm assuming people who really want it would have already pre-ordered it or have a payment plan going. If you're iffy on it, then maybe try to chance it, and see what happens. I see someone said something about Pop Culture.
Yep.
Yeah, they're gonna have it in stock, and other places are gonna have it in stock. So
the shipping, Carlos, would be pretty high on that, probably.
Yeah, see, the problem is I bought something from Pop Culture, and just like any overseas retailer, something came damaged, and then they were like, "Well, we can just give you we can help you with credit, but we couldn't do a replacement because I would have to send back the figure and all those different things, and it was going to be too costly." Same thing, even with a Hong Kong retailer, be the same thing. So that's the only problem because it is a vehicle. I'm assuming most people are going to try to keep it here in the States,
right,
with someone who is covered through Sideshow. So yeah, I think that's what I would say. If you're unsure, maybe just wait, see what kind of discounts you can possibly get. $830.
Yeah, it's like $820, $830, something like that. Yeah,
that's a lot of money right now.
$825. Yeah,
that's a lot of money plus shipping and tax. So it's over $1,000.
Probably around $900. Yeah, probably around $900.
Really? Yeah, probably
closer to $1,000.
Closer to a grand. Yeah, could be.
Closer to $1,000. Not sure right now in this economy if that's something people are willing to do. So
yeah.
I'm gonna say you probably want to wait, but I'm hesitant to say that
a little bit. Yeah, and I mean, because basically the way I view it is, if you were gonna get it, you probably already got it. And
right.
If you didn't, then you're comfortable waiting to kind of wait for a deal and wait it out, and you're okay with the fact that if you miss it, you miss it.
Right.
So that's kind of
because this is not the Tumbler. The Tumbler, they already had so many versions. Like it's like the third time it's been reissued or something, or second time. So, people were already offloading their old ones. So it's not like there's like people are offloading the Mark II because obviously it's never been made.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree with that. Obviously, is that you would have already had this on pre-order if you really wanted it, I think.
Yeah. That makes sense. Well, Leia, what do you think, bro? Because I know this is one thing you were considering picking up at one point, but I'm not sure where you're at with it now. No, definitely not. It's a space killer, bro, but it does have some presence, no doubt about it.
I just don't need it at all.
Yeah.
Again, I don't have the attachment to the IP like everyone else does. You know what I mean? I enjoy the films. You know, again, Back to the Future, as far as classic, as far as nostalgia in the films, yes. As far as having this piece of my collection, there's no need for it. Like I have no connection. It doesn't really attach itself to anything in my collection. It wouldn't make sense. So I don't need it. For everybody else who's getting it, you know, who will have it, and if you're planning on purchasing this piece, I'm happy for you. I'm happy it's available. I think honestly, bro, I've come to the realization that at this point I don't think it's a sideshow thing anymore. I don't.
What do you
I
think
think
it is?
you know what I mean? I think it's more so, you know, again, there's cost that goes into it. There's the simple fact that, you know, these pieces, bro, they have to really, for any company right now, literally, you have to secure yourself, bro, because people place these pre-orders, they cancel their orders. Here goes that thing again, it's stupid. They place their orders. It's my cord, man. Like this thing is, I got to get a new attachment to this because this cord is
You're
just
all
really
good, bro.
messed up. But you know, people place their orders, they, you know, cancel orders. You know, and Sideshow just doesn't want to sit on these pieces anymore, bro. They've had a history of sitting on pieces that they can't get rid of, and offloading is a hassle, bro. And I just think that, you know, as any type of business, you got to really secure yourself, man. I just think that for them, though, they need to whoever's handling their PR, bro, they need to kind of go back and kind of revisit those things.
But if
And
they're
just
struggling, you think that they will try to do like a time pre-order. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I get that, but at the same time, again, you know, you never know. It's a roll of the dice, bro. Like no company, I don't care who you are as a company, it's a roll of the dice. You never know how things are going to pan out. You know, they might have had like a certain level of pre-orders, or you know that were legit, but now you got to keep in mind that there's a lot of people who are tired of waiting, so they're canceling these orders and ordering from different companies in different places because they want it in a lot quicker. That, you know, again, that hurts them, you know. So it's planning. And I think going forward, there is going to be careful planning with these companies, man. Like, you know, not just them, but, you know, and right now they're a major distributor here. So this is what they're running into. So
Yeah.
I get it. I get why they're doing it. I just think that PR needs to be a bit better, and transparency needs to be a bit better. So then they don't have to worry about anything. You know what I mean? So it is what it is.
I guess that's what I'm saying though. Like if they're struggling, then they would say like we're gonna do a time pre-order. Like it's only gonna be available for the first month, because then you're limiting your stock. You know what I mean? And then if people cancel, well, it's a limited stock regardless. So you're not gonna be holding on. The problem is that they just keep the pre-order window open for a year, and it's like, well, people are gonna open, you know, get in, cancel it, and all this crap.
I'm just, you know what? I'm at that point where I'm not behind the scenes, and I'm not going to pretend to know. You know what I mean? And I'm not going to draw any type of assumptions or conclusions, because they know why they're doing it. And for me to draw that conclusion, not really knowing the ins and out and knowing why they're doing what they're doing, I don't want to really, you know, speak on that, because the thing is, it's like I wouldn't want that done to me, especially if you don't know the situation. You know what I mean? If I don't necessarily know the situation behind the scenes, I can't pass judgment. I can only say that there's a particular reason why they're doing it, and it may be something business wise that makes sense to them. It makes sense to them to do it because, again, they don't want to. A loss is a big thing. So that's why I just said, you know what, I'm not going to get on here, you know, ever and parade about what I think and why, you know what I mean? Because it right now, bro, it's not even just them, economy wise and everything. Even at your local supermarkets, everywhere that you're basically going, it's fucked up times right now. So I just have to wait and see how they do it. But I just, again, want to move on from the conversation of the DeLorean, bro. I want to move on from the conversation about the Joker. I want to just start talking about different things because this happens, bro. Like we've been beating a dead horse for the longest time. We know that Sideshow does this when it comes to pre-ordering and when it comes to everything else, as far as what things as on Waitlist, blue screen, this, that, and the third. We know that. So it's not going to change anytime soon. So what I'm believing is that there's a reason behind it. They know, so I'll just let them sort it out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's totally understand. I think my way of approaching it, Leo, is that to keep people informed, I think, because we definitely don't know what the situation is as far as like why Sideshow is doing what they're doing. Because like you said, yeah, it's totally speculation. But I think, as long as people are aware that things may go and not come back, and we really don't know, you could have the Green Goblin, that's waitlist full. It could come back in stock. It could not. Same with the DeLorean. I mean, it's up for pre-order again. So
you know what's up though? But the thing with that, bro, is if you're depending on one company, they're not going to understand it.
Sure.
But I know that there's so many different distributors out there where I can actually get my hands on this piece, even if I have to be patient about it. So that's why it doesn't really bother me much anymore. You know what I mean?
Makes sense.
So I know that I can actually get it elsewhere. But for people who are depending on Sideshow, then I completely understand. I get it. You know what I mean? If Sideshow is basically your go-to and you have a loyalty to them, then I get that. You know what I mean? And of course, it's always good to stay informed. But I just think that I'm just over blaming them because even though, like I said, they did me dirty a few times, but I understand business-wise why it may be a certain way. And I just got to see how it plays out. But in the meantime, it's happy days for people who are wanting this. If it was on blue screen and it's now back to it's available, it's no longer waitlisted, get it while you can, like just so you don't have to deal with it anymore. You know what I mean? So if it's available to you and you can actually just get it or pre-order it, you know what I mean? Even if you can't buy it right off the back, if you pre-order, at least you have it secured. You can pay it off over time. You know what I mean? So just put your NRD down and just pay it off if you can't pay it all at once. So that's the way I see it.
Yeah, that makes sense. And I should explain, by the way, to maybe the newer collectors out there, blue screen essentially means low stock. So when something's blue screen, what happens is you add it to your cart and Sideshow says, okay, you have maybe 5 minutes to check out because this thing is low stock. So we're going to give you the benefit of the doubt. If you want to check it out, go for it. But if you put it in your cart and wait 5 minutes, it'll expire and the next person can put it in their cart. So essentially it just means low stock. But so Josh, I want to ask you, because I know with you've come from the statue game and now you're dipping into the Hot Toys game. So what do you kind of make of this as, maybe a person maybe kind of a little bit slightly newer to Hot Toys collecting, seeing this, how it relates to the statue community? How would you say this experience has been thus far? I mean, this DeLorean, I don't know if this is on your radar, but it's something probably to take a look at, I would think.
So for me, this is an easy pass because I'm not the biggest Back to the Future fan. So it's teaching me a pass. But for those who are really excited about it and want to get it, I would still say no, because whether or not it is Sideshow playing games or if they're actually like what Leo was saying, it was like that. Even if they do sell out, there's other avenues you can get it from, like off the racks, for example, collector zone. So like Sideshow isn't the end all be all, but I would say no. And like most people, especially for this price range, because I think it'll probably be around $1,000 after shipping. This is something they have to save for. So like Carlos said, and like you said, like they would have already pre-ordered this forever ago.
Probably.
So I would say no. I think it's probably gonna be like the Tumbler and probably gonna sit for a minute because the economy does suck. A lot of people are selling their stuff more so than buying. So I don't think you have to rush out to get this thing. But if you do want it, I'd like just go ahead and get it. If you know you're gonna get it, why wait? Just put a deposit down, do a payment plan, and go ahead and pick it up whenever it drops.
Yeah, and see, that's why it's tough, Josh, because everything you said is absolutely right. And it could also be going the opposite way. And then Hot Toys and Sideshow said, exactly for those reasons, we're not going to make many. Because we know that this is going to sit forever. Not that it's not a great piece, but it's expensive. The Tumbler was maybe $650. This is about $200 more than that, a little under. But so if you're looking at that, and then you're looking at maybe what the shipping and the electronics, something could go wrong. That's probably a little more costly if there needs to be an exchange or whatever. So that's something that factors into this as well. And you make really, really good points there. But it also could mean that maybe they don't make a ton of these. But that's the question.
Yeah,
I think that's why we never really know.
I really think Hot Toys should do, I think like maybe not for every release, but do the limited runs for them. Cause like I know it crashed Sideshow's site, but that Winter Soldier cap from Endgame,
oh yeah,
like it broke the internet, and it's, I don't know, like I know it sucks when you don't get the piece you want, but it's also like kind of fun to like, you know, be there first to try to get it. And then like, if you actually got it, you feel like you got something really valuable and cool. I think like they should do more things like that to bring the more collective aspect to Hot Toys. But I think that would be pretty cool.
I think that would be cool to do every now and then. Yeah, I mean, I know some people were
Not
really
for every
frustrated
release,
by it.
but do some
Yeah,
like cool
yeah,
ones.
not everyone, but every now and then.
What I was told too is that with like, say for instance with Sideshow, you know that they're the major distributor for all these other, you know, places, like all these mom and pops and stuff like that. They're getting there. So what happens is also they sit back demographically to see, all right, where is it selling, who's selling the most, who isn't selling. So even if they actually distribute to this particular company, say for instance, they say, well, we're not selling that much, we don't have many pre-orders on this. So what happened is they'll get, like, because they have those things reserved for them as well. So if they don't think that they're going to get much, then what they do is weigh that as well. Say, okay, cool, then we'll probably have more stock from this particular reseller because they're not selling there. There's no demand for it, or we're not getting many pre-orders for it. So then they'll cut that down, and then you'll have more, you know, basically available, or they'll get more from there. That's that they said that sometimes that's how it works as well, because I know in some resellers between two, one selling more than the other, and they're like, nah, they like I know one reseller that said they only actually had like maybe 2 to 3, 7 pre-orders for this piece. Like there was no really demand for it, so just depends.
Yeah, I guess so.
Makes a lot of sense.